Hey, eighth grade. This is Mr. James. This is going to be our one of our last lessons for quarter number one. We'll be looking at the book of First Samuel. I've titled this "Learning to Listen," as the book of Samuel is a book. Of First Samuel is a book about learning and how Samuel has learned to listen. So our verse for this week will come from the book of First Samuel. So we'll have two. If you guys are following along, on Monday we had one um, for our lesson, and we'll have a separate one. So on Friday we'll have two separate verses of the week. So our verse for this week is First Samuel 16 through 7. It says, "But the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." So, as we're getting started, we're looking at listening again this entire presentation. We see that the second great prophet is Samuel. The first great prophet is Moses, as we've read about and seen. And so Samuel became the last judge in Israel. Samuel was the second great prophet, but the last judge in all of Israel. Now, the two books named after him begin about 450-year period of kings. They start 450-year period of kings in the history of Israel. Samuel also began the great age of the prophets, which lasts until about 400 years before Jesus was born. So a long, long time. Now, as we get kind of into the book, we'll have a couple slides that will kind of recap what happens. Uh, all of these are verse references about what is happening in this passage. We'll also have a Bible Project video uh, to kind of help explain things as well. So Elkanah had two wives, as we see, Hannah and Peninnah. He loved Hannah very much, even though she could not give birth to any children. Right, and this is a common theme that we've seen. Right, we saw it with Abraham, and we saw it. I believe we looked forward to John the Baptist, who later his mother and father had trouble having kids as well. So Elkanah and his family worshipped at Shiloh, which was the city where the Ark of God was kept, the Ark that we see the Israelites carried. Now, the high priest Eli thought that Hannah was drunk when he saw her praying, but Hannah was praying for a son. Hannah promised that if God would grant her or give her her request, that she would give her son to God and never cut his hair. Eventually, Samuel was born to Hannah and served under Eli and lived at Shiloh, right? So Samuel served Eli, the high priest. Eli, the high priest's sons were Hophni, Phinehas. They abused their privileges as priestlies. A prophet told Eli that both sons would be punished and that they would die on the same exact day. When Samuel heard a voice calling his name in the night, he ran to Eli. After this happened three times, Eli realized that God was calling Samuel, that it was God calling Samuel. He told the boy to lie down, and if God called him again, to say, "Speak, Lord, for your servant listens." The Lord's voice surprised both Samuel and Eli because those days the word of the Lord was rare. The Lord had not spoken in quite a while. God told Samuel that he would soon punish Eli and his entire family for their disobedience. As Samuel grew up, all of Israel recognized that he was a prophet of the Lord and continued to reveal himself to Samuel. God continued to show himself to Samuel. So this is a brief snapshot, brief picture. So what three things did Samuel learn about listening? Well, who? He learned to listen to the right speaker. He learned to listen to God. How? Well, he learned to stay still and to be attentive, right? He lays down. He also learned to do something about what he had heard, right? He told others about what God said. So, how can you maybe be a better listener? Well, you can listen to God's word. You can take time to read the Bible without distractions, without our phone or computer or people. And we can tell others about God and His word. So, again, just a very short lesson today. Our verse for this lesson, so we'll have two memory verses. Today's was 1 Samuel 16 through 7. It says, the second great prophet Samuel, the first being Moses, became the last judge in Israel. Right? Judges, we saw, governed the law, but also led armies. Samuel learned to listen to the right speaker, to God. He learned to be still and be attentive. He learned to do something about what he heard. And you, right? How can you be a better listener? Right? We can listen to God, take time to read His word, tell others about Him. The gospel, we do see part of the gospel of the fall of sin, right? With Eli and his sons, they were sinful people, deserving of punishment. But we also see that God is able to use Samuel to proclaim Him. So your participation questions, this will be part of your homework. What is our memory verse for this week, right? For this lesson. So you'll have two. And how can you be a better listener? Talked about a couple ways, but what are some things that you can think of? Hope you guys have a great day and keep working hard. We're close to the end of quarter one. If you have questions, let me know. Have a good day, guys. Bye.